out of character with David about his character, right? And
Mm,
trying to
mm.
advise him that it's like, hey man, look, if you really want to stay prince of the city, you got to make some edicts. You got to spin some law to show that the systems of law are functioning. Because right now, with no laws in place, anything goes, and everybody's kind of afraid about vampire assassins and whatnot, right?
Well, I mean that is something he should have put an edict out about.
Right. So his GF breaks in unbidden. Okay? A young woman who made a character came in and was so peeved that people did not immediately kiss her feet that she quit last season. If you recall that,
I don't
right?
recall that specifically, but it's
Uh,
unsurprising.
Women.
and said, you don't need a law until there's something to make a law about, so why bother?
I mean, there's lots of things to make a law about for vampires.
Right, but here's the thing. By her logic, we don't need laws saying theft is wrong until someone starts stealing stuff.
I mean, have you been to San Francisco? They're working under that operating assumption.
Yeah, and look at how wonderful San Francisco is doing. The thing here is that, as I don't believe you were in that conversation, and I know we're live. I know this is really weird to be coming in on the Gospel of Comics to listen to us talk about game crap. But I was talking to some of the guys last night, and I pointed out that right now, because of the lack of edicts, there are only 3 laws governing the city: masquerade, don't make childer, and no diablerie. Right?
Wait. What about not setting things on fire?
That was Last Prince's edict, and we don't even remember if he exists. That is a loosely held maybe law.
I mean, we know he existed, but just like certain people are from a different multiverse.
But the new prince hasn't affirmed that it's a law. It might not be a law under the new praxis. We're not beholden to presidential procedure.
I mean, I have to then talk to my my boss, the prince, and say, "Hey, listen, you need to do this."
Right, but more succinctly, just as a for instance, the Marquis has a merit called "Where the Bodies Are Buried." That would be Ayrton shooting himself in the face. More power to you.
Sorry, I was doing my best Kurt Cobain impersonation.
I mean, I live in Olympia. We're about an hour from Seattle. You're still talking. You've done it wrong.
By the way, did I tell you guys I got kicked out of the a gun show for taste testing all the shotgun barrels?
I mean, do they belong to you now? You marked your territory. They belong to you. That's how that works, right?
No, not there.
Oh. But so the Marquis has this merit called "Where the Bodies Are Buried." You can get 15 minutes uninterrupted access to anyone's haven. Right? Theoretically, he can just walk into a room and have someone killed at any time.
That sounds kinky. Access to anybody's haven?
Yeah. He's just there. He's just there when you show up to go to sleep at night and has you killed. And
I mean,
it's legal.
He's not going to have me killed because I'm a good person.
I mean, maybe he owes you a boon.
He does.
That is a currency that keeps you alive. But here's the thing: the prince has not put forth an edict saying, "Hey guys, stay out of everybody's haven," or that the property of characters is sacrosanct. So I could break into somebody's haven, steal somebody's car, mess with their ghouls, and it's legal because there's nothing wrong with it because it hasn't been declared wrong.
I mean,
and you can't give me this. Well, it's immoral bullshit because you're blood drinking monsters. Of course, it's immoral.
I mean, not all of us are monsters.
I mean, pretty much, since the last guy that you had that was actually a decent vampire is now a human being.
Hey, I got blowed up. I'm dead.
Yeah, no, you're a human grease stain on the ground. They've actually you off.
It's even worse for you, Ayrton. You're a human grease stain in an entirely different universe.
But I'm just saying, the last decent vampire you guys had in the game. It's not just a human. Like
And hey, I mean,
I'm now a painting on a wall.
I mean, there are several vampires that are extremely humane in Cameron.
Actually, Ayrton, thank you for reminding me. Random subject change. Thank you for reminding me I need to get batteries.
You're welcome.
I don't think my ceiling bird is ready to be changed yet.
Oh.
But the last couple of nights, like in the early morning when I have started to wake up, I have thought I have heard the ceiling bird. And I was like, do I need to change my ceiling bird? But then it doesn't chirp all day, so clearly not. I'm clearly hearing things.
Are you just sleep smoking?
Maybe. But my brain is like, I need to get batteries now because I will not be a meme. I will fix my ceiling bird when the time is right.
Speaking of ceiling birds, Larry, can you explain what's been going on with Eric July and what this horseman thing?
Well, hold
is?
up.
And before you answer that question, are there any videos of him that I need to clip out and edit in some ceiling birds?
Actually, yeah, Ceiling Bird is a great band name, Heather. I agree.
Oh,
It is a good band name. All right, so Horseman. We're gonna get into that. It's fairly simple.
Is Church not joining us tonight?
He may, but we'll hold the fort up till Papa Church gets here. So Horseman. So allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly because
allegedly,
because this has been stated by Chuck Dixon, but I don't know if this is all marketing puffery.
Okay.
He and his artist were like going, "Hey Eric, you know what you need in the Rippaverse? You need a street level hero. I got this idea for one. He's called Horseman."
So he does anything that a horse can?
No.
like does he have a massive cock? Like
hey,
what's his superpowers?
Hey, you talk like Mr. Ed if you had a carrot in your ass too.
So his
you don't know that. I do, but you don't know that.
His superpowers are he has, a combat armor with a horse mask. Not a funny horse mask, but a serious horse mask.
It's like a gimp mask, isn't it?
Kinda. And he goes around. Yes, indeed, he goes around and beats up criminals.
But why? But why is he a horse? Like,
because he's like a horseman, but like instead of having a motorcycle,
does he produce like 2 horsepower? Can he run at like 30 miles an hour? And
no,
like weird zoophile white bitches get railed by him? Like, I'm so confused.
He just wears very unique costume and he beats people up. That is Horseman.
I feel like this is the author's lightly
barely concealed fetish.
Yeah, barely concealed fetish. Yeah, I was seeing you and JDA were talking about it on stuff on Twitter, and I was so confused. I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna ask Larry what's going on with this." I do not have the I do not have the patience to try and figure out what the hell is going on.
So I proposed the idea that if we're gonna do this comic book, right, what you need to do is you need to base it off of Ric Flair, who needs to be a Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, girl kissing, limousine riding, woo, jet flying, son of a gun. And that needs to be the character.
And so he got his power from snorting radioactive ketamine.
No. So here is if Chuck Dixon comes out here and says, "You know what, Larry, your idea is so amazing. We were going to make Horseman off your ideas, right?" So like Horseman, he's like a professional athlete. in a team that has like the Knights or the horse, logo, like Broncos or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a horse logo. And he then, was being pressured by the mafia, right, to throw the big game. He said no, so they crashed his plane, and all his bones were broken. Because this is the thing, right? I'm basing this character off of Ric Flair.
Okay.
This is a thing that actually happened to Ric Flair. He not that the mafia crashed his plane, but he did crash in a plane. All his bones were broken.
Allegedly. I don't think
No, this actually happened to Ric Flair.
I meant the mob part.
Right. But for the comic book, it's the mob part. So, like, he heals all his bones, and then he gets on a superhero costume, as you do when the mafia, blows you up in a plane, and he just starts beating people up.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And so the idea is he's this larger-than-life professional athlete figure who just, he just owns the town and stuff.
So with Batman, like, he chooses a bat, because of his like childhood fear and trauma and stuff. Where does the horse come in then with your story?
Well, it's like a horseman. It's like, a guy who rides around on a horse.
Yeah, but what if you didn't eat breakfast this morning?
Not only did I eat breakfast this morning, we made so much breakfast this morning that it's my breakfast for the next 4 days.
So you're oh, I get it. So he was so hungry he could eat a horse. That's
also Eric July has been attacking his critics more and more online. And conveniently, once he was starting to get some backlash about that, Horseman came out and became the thing people are talking about.
So it's a psyop.
I mean, everything's a psyop in independent comics right now, all the way down.
I stand by that. We already had Horseman, and I'm sharing a image, although it is not horse-headed. It is the better version of the Horseman thesis. That's a jacket from Hotline Miami, which, if you've never played, is about a guy who receives a mask in the mail and is given orders to kill Russian mobsters, often with a baseball bat. It is a fun game. It is a fun murder simulator. I have a lovely time running around being a vigilante on the Russian mob in the 80s era Miami, trying to stop the coke trade. That is a street level antagonist sufficiently different enough from everything else in comics right now to matter. The fact of the point is, when I look at Chuck Dixon's Horseman, which I have seen now, I've actually seen the art of it.
It's like Daredevil with a horse mask.
No, it's not even a Daredevil with a horse mask. It's fucking Night Thrasher with a horse mask, and not a very good one.
And
I'm gonna put it out here. We have been betrayed by the Rippaverse, because not only did they say that they were going to be different, they said they were going to be better. And not only are they the same, but they are lowest common denominator trash.
Well, I just want to point out that Don Chin made the comparison actually on Twitter. His origin story is basically Skate Man. And Skate Man's a much better character.
They've actually not disclosed the origin of Horseman.
Well, okay, his character concept is Skate Man. How's that?
Yeah, but again, you heard my pitch. Is like you make him like Ric Flair, who just goes around styles. He profiles, and when there's criminals, he dresses up in his costume and beats the shit out of them.
Look. I'm gonna say some dangerous things, and I understand if I am not invited back to the gospel for speaking heresy to the man, because I know church is all. I missed that, but okay. Church's idea for the Church Zorg to be violated by the great cynical thinkers of history and be drunk is not a very good idea. It's a fun idea. It's a silly idea. It's not the kind of book I would read. It is, however, maybe the kind of book Don Chin would make, because Don Chin loves silly.
Yeah,
so
that's the point, Rune. It wasn't supposed to be a good idea. It was supposed to be a dumb idea.
But I'm laying down the groundwork here. I'm saying, We are a collection of people who like trash. We enjoy
I mean,
silly, stupid ideas.
that is hurtful and unfair.
No,
No,
because we
no,
also know that you
that's
have
spot on.
no.
Love trash.
Well, the thing is that we also know, such as what you're working on with Matt Crocs, Larry, that you have the capacity to do deep, interesting, capable material.
Mhm.
Right? Our criticisms of mainstream comics, besides fake and gay, have always been about content. What makes it fake and gay? It's lazy and stupid. We demand better comics. That's not a subjective. It's not like better comics for me. It's better comics universally. Better quality art, better quality visuals, and better quality storytelling. More creative characters. My friend Wolfgar read Isom, loves it unironically. And when I tried to speak with him in a one-on-one about it and say, hey, look, man, I'm not gonna run you through the coals on your own show. That's rude, but this is my personal feel on it. He said, well, yeah, but it just started. You wouldn't judge Avengers #1 for not being Avengers #16. And it's like, yeah, but Avengers #16 was an ongoing that was going somewhere.
Well,
Isom is three
actually,
fucking books.
actually, I would, because Stan Lee famously said every comic book you should write it as if it's somebody's first comic book.
It's true.
Perfectly good argument. But that's what I'm getting at, is that Isom's only got three issues. Isom better tell a goddamn cohesive one-piece story, which it does not.
Wait, that's it. Like Isom isn't an ongoing story and character?
It's never been
It's a
intended to be an
trilogy.
ongoing. It's a trilogy.
What?
Allegedly.
It is allegedly a 3-piece story, which means
I
it's
thought-
2/3 done, and we don't know what the fuck's going on.
I thought Isom was like his flagship character.
It is, but it's only getting 3 books instead of establishing that this is going to be a self-perpetuating money machine, and he's going to keep making Isom, which would be the smart play. That's why I'm pissed.
Right, because this is supposed to be a whole comic book universe. So I thought Isom was supposed to be like the center of it.
I could forgive the weaknesses of Isom 1, okay, if I knew there was going to be an Isom 10, an Isom 20, an Isom 30, but there's not. And that's bullshit. Oh, get my 3 issues of Isom, and then if you want to know more, get my however many issues of Alpha Core I do, and then if you want to know more, get Yazira. It's like, no, I don't want to buy your boutique micro runs of characters that might be interesting one day. I want a fucking ongoing, and I want to care about this universe, or I don't fucking want it.
Hey guys, remember when we were like younger and would go to comic book shops and you could pick up a single floppy in the middle of a run and it was compelling and you knew what was going on before?
Yes.
It just by reading that one floppy. That's all. I just wanted to have a Pepperidge Farm moment.
But I didn't start this conversation to say what the fuck's wrong with Isom.
Well, hold up. We also need to mention the situation with Yaira.
Okay.
So the writers he got, who did a Marvel comic or maybe 2, they did a Black Widow that wasn't particularly good. They did a horror porn movie, horror incest porn movie.
Oh, that's right. The sister thing. Yeah, please explain that to me. I was too disgusted to look into it.
I did explain it to you. They did a horror incest porn movie.
Ayrton, when you say you're disgusted, is it like you were disgusted, but you still unzipped?
No, it was these bitches remind me of somebody that I feel like I don't like. And of course they would do some weird incest horror blood porn shit, and I don't think I want to know anymore.
Okay. Because I don't give a shit, frankly.
But the thing is that Eric was very critical of people bringing in folks who had weird sexual I'm having trouble saying that word.
Picadillos.
Peccadillos.
Predilections?
Thank you. No, peccadillos.
Oh,
And
okay.
now he's doing it too because apparently these people know Chuck Dixon.
This has ever been the problem. Rules for thee, not for me. As soon as Eric July became one of the me's, we became the these, and we noticed it. We saw it happening in real time.
And we're like, hey, buddy, this wasn't what we agreed to. And Eric July was like, I've changed the deal.
Yeah, but that's what makes the EVS Eric July slap fight even dumber, because part of our beef with EVS is that he does the exact same fucking thing, because he was always one of them.
Well, my biggest beef with EVS was just the way he fulfilled his campaigns.
Right.
That was my biggest thing.
But I'm saying it's the same thing. He thinks he can get away with that shit because he thinks he's not one of the little people.
True, but I would say that again. I can't believe I'm defending EVS, but I would say one at least Cyberfrog has been fun to read.
Right.
Cyberfrog it speaks to something Ethan is going through.
But see, that's the thing.
Fair.
That's why
that's my biggest thing. At least Cyberfrog is entertaining.
But
I could read all of Cyberfrog too.
But see,
I got like 4 pages into Isom before I stopped reading it.
But see, that's why Isom in the Rippaverse invokes such ire in me. Okay? I'm gonna make it clear right now for anybody watching. If he comes by and he sees it, hi. I don't like EVS. I don't like what he's got to say. I don't like how he presents himself.
I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a person.
But he makes a quality book. The book itself is not bad, although I've heard some of the swag is of subpar quality, but that's for people who want swag.
The swag's annoying to me. That was my biggest problem.
The swag doesn't mean shit.
Like,
apparently
just give me the book. I don't want all
like
your I don't want all your bullshit.
Right.
I don't need the Cyberfrog keychain.
People like it. He has met the bare minimum requirement for comics. I wish he would fulfill in a more timely fashion. I wish I didn't think he was running an alleged scam.
I mean, it's not a scam though, because you are getting what you paid for. I wouldn't call it a scam necessarily.
I say it is a scam, allegedly, because I do not think it is appropriate to use the proceeds from one Kickstarter to fund another Kickstarter.
I mean, that's how businesses work, though. You use the proceeds from one thing you sell to.
But the proceeds you were given were for production on the primary product.
I know, I'm just saying.
That
doesn't bother me as much.
No. What I'm saying is he should fulfill first.
He should,
and then proceed with the next Kickstarter.
I agree with that, but like using the proceeds from the previous one to help fulfill stuff for the next one, that's right, not an issue.
But what I'm saying is that using those proceeds before you fulfilled has the patina of a pyramid scam, where you're using Peter to pay Paul, and nobody knows where the money is, and you profit off of every third dollar.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. Again, he at least fulfills, and what he fulfills pleases his audience. Right?
Yeah.
I cannot say with a surety whether or not Isom pleases his audience, or people choose to be pleased because they don't want to be seen not to stand in support of the revolution, of the resistance, of Eric July, as though he is the face of something when he is not.
That's been my view of it too. Like, and there's a handful of people I'm friendly with online that I see they're in Eric July's corner and stuff, and I'm like did you
is about church wishes to be let me ib.
Well, I mean, church has linked.
But
but I think you still have to actually let him into the show.
But I'm sorry for interrupting.
He's actually not in the waiting room.
Oh,
Give me a second.
I just want to bring
But
this to a,
anyways,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
let me finish my point. Like, I see some of these people, like, you know, in Eric July's corner. I'm like, are you in his corner because of the whole culture war thing, which is super cringe and super gay, or did you actually enjoy the book? If somebody legitimately enjoyed the book, like they like the story and the character and stuff, fine, okay, that's cool, go ahead. But if you're just doing it because of quote culture war, then you know, you need to become a bird and, you know, stop and just, you know, admit to being a government drone.
And with that in mind, if Alpha Core had been pronouncedly better in terms of visual quality, storytelling, whatever, I'd have been like, oh, okay, Isom was a teething trouble. It was a starting point. Okay, I can forgive it being what it is and move on. If Ysera is somehow good, although I fear it will
It's
not be,
Yaira, not Ysera.
I will continue to get that name wrong until the end of time. Fuck the people who thought of that name.
Does she rub you wrong time?
Maybe. But however it goes, if there was a bell curve moving upward, I'd be like, okay, we're going somewhere. But no, it's just, let us put out the cheapest.
Knock that shit off, or I'm going back to bed, Larry.
Sorry, man.
I'm not down. So, Church, you have the floor. I mean, you are the floor. We reside within you.
Always terrifies me when you say shit like that.
Church, why is there hip hop music coming from your channel?
Not me.
There's
no hip hop music.
I don't hear it.
I think I know what it is. Is it gone now?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Something was playing on my phone I was not aware of.
Oh, okay.
It was that was his hip hop sex playlist. He
No.
wears his do-rag in bed.
I'd have a different kind of playlist for that sort of thing.
No, man. No, man. It's the hip hop playlist, and you pretend to be do-rag Vince McMahon with the ECW title.
I mean,
taking shirts on bitches' heads.
His life in that Floridian paradise.
Unironically, I do actually have a do-rag, like a motorcycle, it's like the biker. It's the biker do-rag, you know.
The Paisley one.
Yeah, to like keep my hair from getting all in my face and shit when I'm riding.
Yeah, it's not the sheer black one that the brothers wear. Yes, I understand. I have both varieties.
Yeah, I 100% have.
I do occasionally cosplay as do-rag Vince McMahon.
Do you wear these, Church, depending on what neighborhood you happen to be going in? Possibly.
I do. My camouflage changes depending on the battleground. Yes.
100%. I will put the do-rag on depending on what neighborhood I'm going into. Because I keep it in one of my saddlebags.
Is that the blue collar equivalent of locking the doors as you drive into Harlem?
Yes.
You put on the
if your doors aren't already locked by the time you get to Harlem, you're long since carjacked.
I mean, I walk.
You barely make it out of the Bronx.
I mean, I walked in the streets in Harlem. I mean, admittedly, I was in the white section of Harlem, but still, he was
right.
Yeah, and
Larry was out there painting the red lines.
Rune, you have to lock your doors 3 miles before you get to Harlem, or else you're screwed.
I get it. I'm just saying that again, as stated, the camouflage changes depending where you are.
I did, jumping in on the topic at hand. I did see the biggest atrocity with Alpha Core. Have any of you guys seen the original pencils for that book?
I have. The inking was terrible,
and the coloring was kind of bad too.
What about the lettering?
The lettering was just average.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't dynamic. If that's what you're saying, like there were plenty of opportunities where they had to use dynamic lettering and they didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't like Eric Weathers lettering.
No,
Okay.
Not at all. It was bargain. It was Wish.com lettering. I mean, it was you got
Okay.
exactly what you paid for, and probably a little less.
What about like the panel layout and stuff?
Very
It
basic,
wasn't good.
very boring.
So,
About a lot of wasted real estate. Book could have probably been condensed down into half as many pages.
So it didn't have like the flowing movement like in a lot
No.
of the or
No, there was
cr-
like
or the
one
creative-
decent splash page, I think.
or like the creative paneling in some of the weirder books that we've reviewed from like the indie scene.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. This was by the numbers paneling with not a lot of thought put into it. It didn't
Well,
move the story along. It didn't properly show movement. Things went in and out of perspective between panels.
As we're talking about it,
I hate that.
As we're talking about it, just because I want to be clear, because I'm a little retarded. Anyone coming in who's not a regular or not already in the comic scene, and I don't know why they'd be in our stream, but what the fuck?
Because I have a sexy voice. Come on, Marin.
Exactly. Might think that these are
Motherfucker,
like.
this is the first time you've been here in like 8 months.
I'm just saying.
I was here on our Christmas stream. How dare you?
I'm just saying people might come in with the vague notion that these are things you only notice as a comics nerd and deep in. You know, you always have that one
No,
kid that's like, yeah,
these-
but look
these
at
are
these
nuts.
spots, just darks. Well, that's what I'm saying. How does this fail in the I'm picking up a book first time arrangement? Right.
Well, I'm not saying that it fails in the I'm picking up, but it definitely lowers what you would expect from the medium as a whole if it was your first comic book.
To quote Mr. Plinkett, you might not have noticed it, but your brain
did. Well, that's the thing, though, is that obviously we all, nostalgia being what it is, you prefer the comics you grew up with, and I do read older comics, but I grew up reading my old man's comics from the late 70s, and then read the 80s comics, and then the 90s comics. I can go back and read a very old Marvel and be content. I can go back and read reprints of 1940s DC and be like, oh, this is charming. What I'm getting at is, does anyone think, if this was your first book, that Isom or Alpha Core is what you would go back to time and again? Because I don't think so.
No.
I think it's
Well,
incredibly
no.
pedestrian.
Well, here's the counter argument to that, though. Neither is Cyberfrog. Where Cyberfrog excelled in the art form, no reader is going to wait the timeline, like the time frame, to complete a story. Like, you get people out here who are complaining about George R.R. Martin have given up on George R.R. Martin and are just embracing the meme. Nobody's truly
true.
believing those books are ever going to be finished.
Oh no,
We
it's
have
100%
such a-
true. He's even earned ire
Well,
in a different way now, because now people are making fun of him for saying you're not Tolkien, because at least Tolkien completed a book.
well, you got that, but the thing is, like, what makes a good first impression in a comic book series is a plethora of things that
Starro.
it doesn't just reverberate within that first comic experience, it reverberates in your excitement to go find another one.
Now, I want to read a tweet from Eric July about Horseman. He says, I could say this much.
Horseman.
Horseman will be our most brutal character to date.
Woo!
Doesn't play around. He should have said he doesn't horse around.
Woo!
But like,
I'm sorry. Maybe
I want there to be 4 variant covers: one with Arn Anderson, one with Ric Flair,
Hell yeah,
one with
brother.
Dean Malenko, and one with...
hold up.
Hold up.
How are you disrespecting Tully Blanchard like that?
Because Tully Blanchard was before my time.
Okay, that's fair.
I grew up with Nitro era Horsemen. So I mean, I guess you give Steve McMichael and Benoit the covers over Malenko,
I mean-
but Malenko was one of my favorite Horsemen.
I mean, Malenko's a better wrestler than Mongo.
See,
I don't
no,
know, man. Mongo always put on an entertaining match.
so
Mongo always, if not a good match, an entertaining one.
I don't know if I just spend too much time looking at like cringe shit and like watching old gym streams and videos. But when he says Horseman is going to be our most brutal character, am I the only one who's thinking of the Mr. Hands video?
No, man, no. You're in the right. You're in the
Okay.
right field, but you're playing the wrong sport. See, I'm the
Oh God, Horseman got church.
I mean, that's pretty brutal. Not gonna lie.
Damn. Horseman cock went right down Church's throat during
Oh,
that
shit.
sentence. Man,
Uh,
he got an unscheduled.
That is
He got an
that is-
unscheduled.
Can you hear me
emergency
again, you asshole?
tracheotomy.
we can hear you. We can hear you now.
that is actually
We hear
the
you.
only joke from Crossed that is actually funny.
So Church.
Yeah.
What did you think of my idea to improve Horsemen by 1,000%?
By making it Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, you basically just take the plot of BoJack Horseman and the character of Ric Flair, and you draw Ric Flair in a horse mask. Not even as a horse, but Ric Flair in a horse mask.
Just
Like
going
one of
into
those
the
badly
street,
fitting rubber ones.
going into the street and pimp slapping villains.
Yeah, stripping down to his boxers and his black socks and dress shoes.
Let us say the
Running the
crap.
ropes. Doing the Flair flop in a horse mask. The book just ends with him in a fucking nut house, just like in that storyline in WCW in the late 90s.
So what you're saying is that we need a man half naked in his socks in a horse mask running in the street, just arm barring people one after
Yeah,
the
what's
other
Daniel
down the
Radcliffe doing
sidewalk,
right now?
screaming justice.
Somebody give me Daniel Radcliffe. He's perfect for this in the movie.
Absolutely.
And you know he's a weirdo
Get him
enough to
done.
do it.
I would say Shia LaBeouf.
So yeah, and
And
interestingly
he's
enough,
gone, ladies and gentlemen.
again. Well, the other big thing that we talked a lot about between shows is how they're massacring Avatar: The Last Airbender in the
Did I
live
die
action.
again?
You did.
And now you don't have a face. Now you're a pog.
Oh,
Hmm.
well, I mean,
Hmm.
I've been a pog for a while.
So we're about to talk about how they're planning to ruin Avatar: The Last Airbender in live action.
I personally had a fix for this one.
So
Okay.
let it out there, Church.
Well, what you do is you just take the Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, you reskin it to where the little Asian child is wearing Aang's outfit and has Aang's tattoo, and then you just re-release the rest of the movie unedited.
I mean, I actually did like the Golden Child, even if I think Eddie Murphy was.
Yeah, you
horrible
just change
for it.
you change the title, you leave the movie exactly how it is, you reskin the Asian child to be Aang, and then you just release that, and no one will notice because we're so far removed from the release of the Golden Child that no one is around and watching movies.
I've never
seen
even,
it.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh,
Whoa.
so you've missed out on
Yeah,
some fun stuff.
So
You guys act surprised that I haven't
no,
heard of
no,
or seen
like-
a movie.
like guys, a executive decision at some point in the upcoming month, we need to have a an off time get together.
oh yeah, we definitely
we,
have to make Eric watch the Golden Child.
Yeah, will
So,
we have a watch together with Ayrton to watch the Golden Child?
So the Golden Child is like there's this reincarnated, Buddhist, figure who's going to help heal the world, right? But demons are trying to kill him, and only Eddie Murphy can stop the demons.
Based.
And the demons are portrayed by the guy that played Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones,
Who?
much
And-
younger, and before he was in Last Action Hero.
I don't know who that is.
He's a very good English actor who probably doesn't want people to remember he was in The Golden Child.
And here's the thing: in my head canon, that movie actually, that Buddhist child that was reincarnated, that was the Shadow.
Does he
Fuck
throw
you.
dynamite?
Huh?
Does he throw dynamite?
I mean, I think at the end of the movie in the post-credit scene, but they cut that out of the TV release.
If he doesn't use dynamite to solve his problems, it's not the Shadow.
Well, you got to give him time to grow up and become a debauched white man.
That's fair.
Look,
And train under Genghis Khan.
I liked Alec Baldwin's Shadow, and I liked the guy that played the bad guy, so I'm not going to let you guys shit on that movie.
Alec Baldwin's Shadow was fine.
We're talking about the
fine.
radio show, Rune.
I like the radio show too, but the Shadow is not an Asian
I'm absolutely talking about the movie.
So, Rune, I want you to open up the deeper conversation here about Avatar: The Last Airbender. How is it that they are undoing all of the character details of?
You mean everything that made that show fucking good?
Oh no, you guys have missed it. You actually did not catch the obvious note that was actually pointed out by the longtime Avatar critic. He's got a absolutely hilarious Spurg series. His name is ER.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of his stuff.
Right, watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
No.
Ad. And then watch the Netflix ad.
It seems
so
like
similar. It is a repetition of the same mistake.
And Bright left the production of the live action series midway.
Right. The entire core of this upcoming film is the idea that names and appearances will be enough, but characterization, plotting, and the actual events are not necessary to tell an Avatar story because you're just paying for that racing stripe.
Dude,
and it's going to be hilarious to watch it fail.
They could have hired Patrice O'Neal's corpse to play Katara, and if they did it the character right, I still would have liked it.
No, what I'm actually hilariously amused by, as Larry shared, is that they're like, we're gonna take the Fire Lord, okay? He's the bad guy, he's the big bad, okay? He's not gonna mutilate his children.
Kids.
Okay, and he's not going to criticize them. What? He's going to be a loving father. It's like,
oh, sorry. The producers from the show called in for a second.
It's like, have you fundamentally misunderstood what the bad guy means? Because I'm pretty sure the Fire Lord's the bad guy.
More importantly,
and the fact that Zuko's character arc is the best and most intriguing of the whole show.
I'm gonna use slimy lefty words. I'm gonna speak commie gobbledygook for a minute.
Oh Jesus!
Okay?
Hold on, I have a drop for that.
Now this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
No, Ayrton. Okay. No, there's a better drop for that.
So let's.
No, you keep talking, and I'll pull up the drop.
So let's be clear here. You have a film series or a TV series, an animated series, in which a toxic male abuses his children, demeans them, and creates cycles of perpetual violence and cruelty for his own aggrandizement, for imperialism, because he is going to colonize other nations, which he has already partially done. And it is all the evils that the ultra lefties say are bad, and they're on display as bad.
Full stop.
He said, when we have a chance to make this and make our point, we can't show any of that. It would cause somebody trauma.
Well, no.
Sorry. Wait, what was that? I was reading George Washington's acceptance speech for the presidency. Just to ignore the commie bullshit that you were just spouting.
No. Here's the drop that you should have pulled, Ayrton.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yeah, I don't have that one loaded. I thought I did, but I don't.
To cut out the commie bullshit, it's everything they want, but they don't want it.
But also,
because it was never about actually addressing those problems.
Also, Joe, they're going to show the genocide of the air nomads this time.
Right, something that they didn't
Isn't
have
that
to show
great?
in the kids show.
Isn't that great? They're going to show the genocide,
Okay,
but
so
they're
let me
not
get
going
this
to
straight.
show.
Let me get this
They're
straight.
not going to show the person responsible for the genocide. Being an asshole.
So,
Let me
so
get
are
this
they
straight.
gonna show the Fire Nation has trains that run on time? Like, what are they gonna show us?
Well, that's extra funny because the air nomads are really, really Tibetan,
Yes,
And,
thank you, Rune.
and the Fire Nation is very
It's
Japanese,
in
but it's
Japan.
also a bit Mongolia.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that a group of non-specific Asiatic warriors is going to burn down the temples and destroy the sovereign culture of an area of the world that has consistently refused to be Chinese.
Yes.
As
That sure is weird.
as though this was a decision made at a corporate level to appease potential Chinese investment for overseas sales. I'm
Also,
not saying they're doing that. I'm just saying that seems really convenient.
also, Katara is not going to be involved with anything revolving around traditional female gender roles.
And I also saw something they're getting rid of, like Sokka being like kind of sexist.
Specifically, they're going to undo his cross-dressing and his snarky comments about the place of women.
Which literally the entire show plot starts because Sokka is sexist. He doesn't want a girl going.
Can I talk about?
With
Can
it.
I talk about the gaping 3-foot tall hole in all of this? Because no one's brought it up anywhere I've seen.
Well, there's another piece also. They're
I
not
mean,
going to
As
have
long as you
fun
keep your
zany-
clothes on, Rune.
I'd rather
They're
not
also-
talk about a
they're
gaping
also-
hole.
They're also not going to have any.
I really,
any,
I really don't want to talk to my ex. So if we can skip the gaping hole, that would be great.
No.
They're also not going to have any of Aang having fun kid side adventures.
Right.
What?
And to that I say,
What are you, retarded? So I know you're not retarded, but what are you, Down syndrome?
No. It's worse than that. I'm going to tell you right now why this show is going to fail. Why it is dead on arrival. Because what they don't say is as important as what they do say. Who haven't they mentioned? Who has not appeared in any of the advertising? Who has not appeared in any of the commentaries, any article, anywhere?
Toph.
Fan favorite Toph. The blind martial artist has not appeared because having a blind martial artist who goes through a character arc that includes physical violence on her person would be ableist and wrong.
well,
and they
this
are
is
going to
going to be a
find a way
recreation.
to cut her
of-
out.
This could be just season 1.
Sure.
Okay.
Except they're going to condense. They're going to try and squeeze it down so they can add more of their own bullshit. Okay? They haven't hinted at it at all, but that there are Avatar people holding their little plushies and their Funko Pops bouncing up and down because they want to see Toph. And even if you don't give a shit, we all know if they don't do it, it's gonna be a fire sale.
I can't wait
So
to see. I can't wait to see all the Hot Topic hipsters like lining up to buy like Avatar merch that they haven't bought in 15 years.
I'm fucking waiting to see all the TikToks of crying Asian girls. We're like, oh my god!
That could actually be a fun segment after this comes out. One of us, probably me, because I'm the one who does this kind of shit. Just go to a mall and sit outside a hot topic and just film how many people go in and come out with like Avatar shit afterwards. That'd be fun.
Quite frankly, all of this just reminds me why I didn't like Avatar in the first place. Which is sad, because I had actually watched it finally, decided it was good, and kind of liked it. And it's just watching that approval melt away.
Yeah, I think I was like a young teen when that came out, so there's like a nostalgia to it that I enjoy the story and the characters and all that stuff, but I haven't watched it and
I was
and
always
forever.
disinterested because I always said it's just a D&D campaign. It's just Oriental Adventures. I grew up with that.
That's fair.
And then people were like, no, Joe, you've got to give it a chance on its own credit. So I did. I finally did. I sat down before I got rid of Netflix, and I actually watched it on Netflix all the way through, and I was like, you know what? That's not bad. There are some really good bits. Most of those really good bits have Mako in them. Because,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Uncle Iroh for
Mako-
life.
Mako is great.
He's an excellent voice actor. So, Church, can you hear us?
Yes. Yes.
You dove into the CGC lawsuit story, and maybe you could go into a little bit more details on that because you understand more of that world than we do.
Oh, okay. So two people apparently got jobs at the CGC. For those of you that don't know, the CGC is responsible for grading things like trading cards and comic books. These
Which
two people got jobs. Go ahead.
I still need to get my ARBBH #1 signed by Don Chin and get it graded and framed.
Yeah, that would be good. Might go through BCW for that, having learned what we learned. But apparently, these two people had both gotten jobs with the CGC in different divisions. One we assume was being an eBay, basically somebody who verified shit for eBay. You know, like shit will come through, and eBay has this thing where they're like, "Yeah, if we sell it to you, we'll guarantee that it's real." Well, the other guy was basically in charge of doing some of the grading where personally they were stealing shit and repackaging shit with higher grades than it had. And basically, it seems like the lawsuit isn't anything in the league of, oh, well, the CGC is being charged with this. No, it's the CGC suing the people that did this. But my question is, and everyone else's question really should be, what's going to be done going forward to prevent this from happening again?
Nothing.
Yeah. But I mean, they stole shit like key issues of Wolverine and the Hulk, Spider-Man.
Hell no.
Yeah, Wolverine, Spider-Man.
I've been wanting to get a legitimate copy of the Incredible Hulk #171 forever. I have a reprint of it, but I want an actual copy and I want it framed to hang up.
Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It went into to detail about some of the stuff that they had stolen. One thing they're accused of doing is taking CGC markings, like their stickers and shit, and repackaging like grade 4s as grade 8s and shit like that to resell them for a higher price.
So the whole collectible grading thing is all bullshit, like we've been saying.
It appears to be so.
It isn't, but it is. Like
CGC appears to be BS.
So you're saying
that's
if
the thing. Like,
there's
there's a need.
God damn it.
There is a
Yes,
need
it's the seed
for
from my
the
blue
service.
heaven.
There's a need for the service. There is a market and a need for the market. But yeah, you let bad people into any industry, and you talk, like, you read through some of the shit these people did, and it points out just how lax this fucking system was. Like, you think about one of these grading systems, and you imagine the Hollywood version of like Fort Knox and shit, right? Like, people are signing in with security tags and you know, everything constantly being monitored with fucking satellite. No, I mean, it's just a bunch of idiots in some rented warehouse somewhere looking at comic books and deciding what they are.
I mean, that's what I was mocking before you got here, Church. We're talking about game stuff with David, or with I was talking with David, but also with Larry. And a person tried to assert that you don't need laws before somebody starts breaking them. And it's like, lady,
You kind of do.
If there are no laws, there's no guidelines for what's incorrect. So How can you say they were doing something wrong if you're lazy enough that you let them get away with it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
you don't necessarily need laws. There's market forces that can correct.
Yeah,
those
but
things.
in the more pejorative sense, I mean, in this case, everyone involved knew they were committing a crime, right?
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't mean the people who permitted the conditions that led to that crime being possible do not bear a weight of culpability for their laxity. They should have been on the ball. The fact that they weren't is itself, at least socially, a crime.
A social crime.
Yeah, in the sense that it's not necessarily illegal, but we all know it's fucking wrong.
No, what they did was very illegal.
No. What I mean is that the bosses at the top and the supervisors and the like, who should have had systems in place to prevent what these criminals were doing, right? Should, if not be culpable legally, which they're probably not, should be culpable internally to the company. There are people who should be pissed off about how did you let this
Right.
happen?
Ruben, let me explain how the world works to you from somebody
I mean,
who's seen
I
it.
know.
I'm talking about just in the corporate world, who's dealing with it on a first-hand basis every day of my fucking life now.
Right.
So, let's say you walk in the door and a pipe right above your expensive printing machine has burst and is spilling liquid onto this expensive printing machine,
Right.
ruining the ink system, ruining the electronics, just destroying this machine whole cloth. How many people do you think need to approve turning off the water to the building before they'll do it?
Too
Well, I
fucking many.
mean, the operations manager,
Right.
the plant
It-
manager.
Well, first off, you got to get the floor manager before you contact any of these people.
Yeah.
You get the floor manager contacts general manager contacts the general contractor's boss contacts the general contractor's outsourcing company. The outsourcing company contacts the GM to figure out who's on service that day. That guy contacts the serviceman to contact our boss, who tells him to contact the guy below him, and finally gets back to the floor manager, who can tell him where to be.
Church was speaking truth and they cut him off.
Am I back?
You are.
Yep, you're back.
Okay, so you get the general idea of how that works. I know I got
Yeah.
cut off there. But now, because this happened and it took so long to fix it, we got to get a better system in place, guys. We're going to have a meeting about it. So next Tuesday, everybody gets together and they have
hold up.
Yeah.
You think you can go right to that meeting? Don't you want to have a pre-meeting first?
You have a
plan
meeting
out
about the meeting.
Right. But
And-
I'm not privy to these. I know they're happy, but I don't get to see them. So I don't know what happens in them.
And did the people going to those meetings have breakfast that morning?
I mean, ideally, you have breakfast at the meeting.
Yeah, the meeting's catered with breakfast if it's early.
Oh, okay.
As long as you're not, a blue collar worker who's working for pennies on the dollar. No, anyway, so they schedule this meeting, and that requires probably 3 meetings. But once they get to the meeting, they all throw around ideas on how to deal with this, and then they table it, never to discuss it again.
Right. No, I know that. I know this is how this works.
So work has been good, sir? Is
Oh, yeah,
what I'm
man.
getting?
Now that I figured this out, I'm just completely abusing the shit out of the system
Look,
because I can do anything I want to, and the guy above me gets in trouble.
Look, if one of these things has to be made into a policy, we will then have a sub-meeting about the results of the meeting to discuss implementation of the possibility of a memorandum to
Well, you're-
suggest policy. that
when
will
you're
never
working in
happen.
these kind of situations, one of you like low level floor guys can fuck the boss's wife and he'll blame your manager. I mean, that's literally how it'll go.
Oh,
And then
Church,
you'll-
you would hate the game that I am running. You do not want to work for Boxco. You would do too well.
I work for Boxco already.
I know.
I'd be CEO of Boxco in a week.
I want to see that. I want to see
The
Church.
first thing I'd do when I got to Boxco would be fuck the boss's wife to get my manager fired.
I want a game where Church is the CEO of Box.
You know?
All right,
You
that's
know,
it,
I would-
guys. It's hookers and
we would-
Blue Wednesday.
No. We would have a magically enchanted 8-ball that would have highly specific things that it said, and it would make all of my decisions.
You know, if you have the balls to fuck the boss's wife and blame your subordinates because so that they get in trouble, Mr.
No, you're
Starr,
superior.
yeah, but Mr. Starr would promote you. You would
I
join
know.
corporate.
No.
And then it would say continue to screw as many people's wives as you want for morale.
All right, guys, it's time for the quarterly drug test. Anybody not on ketamine is fired.
Right.
But,
Anyway, that's
I do-
that's how things work. And as far as the CGC is concerned, that's exactly where they're going to be. They're going to sit down in the boardroom.
And did Church go away again?
No, he did, but he's also illustrating what they're going to do. They're sitting in the boardroom, and then it's done.
Yeah, and then they're going to sit in the boardroom, and they're gonna decide. Okay, these little warehouse peons, they screwed up, and then they're gonna brainstorm about how the warehouse peons can be dealt with, and they're gonna table it, and nothing's gonna happen. They're probably gonna give everybody a pay cut too.
And increase your hours, or
Yeah,
cut them depending on if you need money or not.
right. But I mean, it just that's the way these things work. Like companies have become so effective at being ineffective. Like they have made. It's the old adage. Have you ever had an uncle or a grandfather or somebody tell you that if you work half as hard as you do at fucking off at getting shit done, you have more time to fuck off?
So, also on the legal front, Disney finally lost their case to the state of Florida.
Oh, really? How did
they
the Mouse's lawyers lose a case?
Well, they hired lawyers who don't understand how federal jurisdictional case law works.
So what exactly is the ramifications of this lawsuit?
What is the lawsuit? Because
So, Florida stripped Disney of its special status under Florida law, and Disney sued under Florida state law, and the Florida state courts said, well, you can't. And so Disney sued under federal law to claim that their rights were violated under federal law to force the state government to change their mind. And the federal court said, this isn't a federal jurisdictional issue.
Could they not have
Hey.
waited another few months until I'm done there to jack up the prices on everything?
No. The jacking it up already happened because of the changes due to the Florida state law where Disney is not able to get Florida taxpayer money to subsidize their company.
So they're going to take my tax money to subsidize their company now?
No. Disney's just going to have to pay their fair share of the bill.
Yes. Means a large Diet Coke is going to be $18 instead of $5.
You think it's $5? That's adorable.
told it was-
Church.
I was told it was $5. I was told a Coke was $5 at Disney.
Not a medium one.
How much is? Wait, what?
That's a small at Disney.
no, they sell Coke by the gram at Disney.
I need
mean,
to talk
only
to that guy.
only if you get into where the employees are.
It's Goofy, isn't it? Goofy's the one that's got the blow. He's sneaky.
No, see, Goofy has the blow that's laced with fentanyl. If you want the blow that isn't, you have to find Grumpy.
No, you find Donald, obviously.
I thought Pete the Cat would have it.
They don't have Pete the Cat at Disney.
What? No Pete the Cat at Disney?
Or you find the crows from Song of the South.
They also don't have them anymore because they're problematic.
What?
Would the stormtroopers have blow?
Those crows were some cool jive talking ass niggas, all right?
Yes, that's why they're problematic.
How is that problematic?
Because they're talking jive.
We should close the show out with them in honor of Black History Month.
We should.
Well, actually,
that's why I'm Morgan Freeman.
Speaking of Black History, absolute legend Carl
wait,
Weathers
wait.
died this week.
I
Carl
know.
Weathers.
I was so upset. Is the Weather Channel still going to be a thing?
No. Like, this is Carl Weathers, the guy who played the original Apollo Creed, and
He was Chubbs. He was Chubbs and Happy Gilmore.
I legitimately don't know who this is. Hence my tweet saying, "Rip Carl Weathers." Your TV station told me how to dress when it was cold out for
He was the
years.
CIA spook in Predator.
yeah.
I've seen Predator once when I was like 12.
You haven't seen
Yeah, but
Happy Gilmore?
Again, I've seen Happy Gilmore once when I was like 14.
He was the only black guy in The Mandalorian.
He was. That was indeed not Billy D. Williams.
It wasn't.
Look. I gotta say, our friend Ayrton apparently doesn't see color.
I mean, I don't see movies.
That's a lie. I've been at a fried chicken restaurant.
I'm glad he got cut off during that sentence.
His, Church, are you saying Ayrton's got the fever?
No.
Oof.
I don't have a fever.
So,
I'm
did you
feeling
guys
pretty
see Ethan Ralph on Pod Awful?
Well, hold on.
I did not. But give
on.
Ayrton a chance here.
I have a video for Black History Month, and yes, I've had this loaded up for a while. Larry, if you would be so kind.
Right. Do. It's this one over here.
Let me know when to hit play.
Hit play.
No.
And Dawn gives it so much flavor.
Hey, if it's good enough for a baby duck, it's good enough for a dead chicken.
I thought you were supposed to wait until they were covered in oil to watch.
No, not back in the fucking pan! No! Jesus fucking Christ! No, you can't dry it off with fucking paper towels after that. It's just soaking up the fucking soap, you fucking savages!
Bruce's actually going to have a stroke on this show.
No. I just want a solution. I want a solution. I want perhaps some kind of final solution, perhaps with a visit to a camp for re-education.
Yeah, but what if she didn't eat breakfast? That
She
morning?
clearly fucking didn't, because she's eating chicken covered in fucking soap. She might as well just fucking drink the soap like Kool-Aid at this point.
What would give you the impression that she drinks Kool-Aid?
Yeah. I think I killed Rune with that one.
I did not wish to be angry. I only wish to be happy.
So
You know you can't do that hanging out with us.
let's talk about Ethan Ralph on Pod Awful.
Why do I have a Grok box on my Zitter?
I do too.
It says Grok something. Oh, Grok is the AI.
Yeah, Grok is the
Yeah.
Twitter AI. It was released what, Larry, last month to premium subscribers, and this past month to like everybody else.
Oh, I've had access to it for more than that.
Oh well, fine. It'd be that way. Anyways, so Ralph on Pod Awful.
Did Church drop again?
I mean, it seems so. It is super quiet in here. Yes, Church is not here, and Ayrton is muted.
All right. So Rune, did you
Yeah.
have something you were going to bring up for content today?
Oh, not particularly. I thought we had plenty of content. We got a mountain of stuff in the show links. We always do.
Yeah, but
I mean, I did actually contribute, albeit in a small way, if you recall, because I linked to you the my response to the Troy Baker challenge.
yeah.
Huh.
There we go. Here's Church again. So, have you heard of the Troy Baker challenge, Church? Or let's talk about Ethan Ralph first, because both of these things involve people sneaking in from Mexico. Church?
What?
Let's talk about the Ethan Ralph thing.
Yeah, let's talk about the Ethan Ralph thing.
Oh, okay. So, did everybody see the Mr. Medicare stream?
I did.
I did not.
You
What?
guys, what?
I was unavailable to listen to a stream at the time.
God damn it!
And you
Larry,
haven't seen it since? I've watched it 3 times.
You're fired.
I didn't know it was on the VOD.
It was on the VODs like an hour after it was.
I kicked him. It's fine.
I don't even know which VOD it is.
It was uploaded like an
It's
hour
on
after the
Karuno.
stream.
It's always on Karuno.
Or Don the Meta or Metacurus Murdochian archive. There,
Man, you can just tell he's not a true Medicare. He doesn't deserve his hat.
I mean, I didn't actually get a hat.
You don't deserve a hat.
I have a hat, Larry.
I had a hat before any of you bitches.
That's true, you did.
I had a hat before he made them.
Yeah, you were supposed to send me one, but you know.
Yeah, well, supposed to do a lot of things. I have this thing, Ayrton, where I just fucking can't sometimes. Anyway,
I feel that.
so Ethan Ralph
Oh,
was banned off of Kick for saying the N-word 60 times in a row.
In a row?
Well,
That-
I mean, on the
that's
same stream.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if he just said the N-word 60 times,
Speed running a ban.
60 times over and over, that's almost impressive. I feel like I would lose count after like 36.
He all but admitted to using piss bottles, and we assume that that's what Pantsu was cleaning up in the recording. But he went on Pod Awful show, and it was pretty terrible.
No shit.
He got fucked up on his own show. He got fucked up on his own show, and then decided to just start
Hold
burning
up.
bridges with guests.
hold up. Since when is Ethan Ralph getting stoned on his own show? Breaking news.
No. It's not breaking news, but he started burning bridges with how's it going, Commander? He started burning bridges with his guest on his own show. Saying something along the lines of calling everyone who debates on his show the F slur. So all of the guests
Wait,
that come
he-
on and make
wait,
him
he-
money, he
he
called them the F slurs.
He called him French?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's still no cure for that or being Canadian.
I mean, there is. The French came up with a cure actually for that during a revolution.
But no, Ethan Ralph is not doing very well. There are stated intents of divorce proceedings and probably custody hearings in New York coming up. He has broken up with his hooker girlfriend. Yeah.
He broke up with her. You mean she left him because?
Well, he broke up with her by using his fist.
Also, she threatened to have the new president of Mexico have him arrested.
Yes, or turn him over to the cartel family members she has. Oh, and then Ghost came on and revoked his Texas pass again. So he told everybody that he was on site for Ethan Ralph.
That is still one of the funniest things is Ghost 12, like his list of 12 things Ralph has to do to redeem himself.
Oh man, can we find that Ghost?
Oh, I know one of them was put down the fucking fork. The best one was do a mukbang of pork dishes and describe the taste to Jewish and halal people. that was the best one.
Oh
But,
God!
I don't remember any of the other ones.
Oh God! I wish I could find it. It's so good. It's no longer. Hold on, let's finish this one.
If you come to Texas, it's on site, dude. I will send my goon.
Oh no, this is
No,
this is still good though.
To go up to you.
I can't find it. I wish I could find the list, but no, Ethan Ralph is not having.
I'll look for it.
Ethan Ralph is not finding 2024 to be a better year than 2023, unfortunately.
I got a stupid question for you, Larry, because you might know. Chinese zodiac. When is the year of the pig?
Just a moment.
Year of the pig. The next one is going to be 2031. But 2019 was the last year of the pig.
So he's got a while.
Was 2019 also the last year that Ethan Ralph had a good day?
No.
Okay. Hey, Brian.
What was the Chinese zodiac in 85? The ox. That's the symbol he was born under, and he still became a fat rage hog.
I mean, that does track.
They said I could grow it to be anything, so I became an embarrassment.
Well, the military told me I could be, military said be all you can be, so I chose asshole.
Holy shit. There's an IMDb for the kill stream.
Yeah,
there is.
That was set up a long time ago by Gator and Zidane back when the original crew was still around.
Damn. Holy shit! I cannot find this anywhere. I thought he posted this like on his YouTube community post or some shit.
Ghost politics list of demand for the gun. I bet it's on Kiwi Farms.
it probably is, but I don't feel like scrolling through Kiwi Farms.
I got it right here. 13. Stop using censorship as a form of retribution. This is what fruity ass leftist trash do, and the Gunt claims to be a right winger, even though he was once the leftist piece of shit like Fake Alaska, Dick Fuentes, and others. Stop doxing people. This is unacceptable in most of its forms. humbly and publicly apologize to me for having your Sims ban me from Twitter and all the shit you've talked about me and the capital of Tharmy. Put the fucking fork down for about 5 minutes. Do a sweating on the oldies routine on your live stream. Reenact the squeal like a pig scene from the movie Deliverance with your new homosexual sidekick in honor of Pride Month. Given your past, officially announce you are down with the Grope Gang and sing his anthem. Have a mukbang of pork on stream. Describe the flavors in detail to kosher and halal people. Find a black person named Edward and call him the N-word. Publicly apologize to Medicare, Frogger, Ricada Law, Andy Worski, not to be confused with that piece of shit Captain Content, Winston Fujimori, Josh Moon, and anyone else you've gone after because of the lack of oxygen in your brain due to your morbid obesity. Stop going to Europe, portly bourgeois, socialist loving piece of shit, unless you're gonna stay there forever. Buy a Stop the Gunt shirt and going into a public area and scream, "Someone tried to stop me." There's some guy named Vickers who keeps emailing telling me to tell you to see and pay some kind of child support for your son. Deal with that. The capital authority will back off when the Gunt fulfills our list of demands.
You know what? Somebody next time Jim decides to continue to mock cancer in the face, somebody needs to give him a good sized super chat to read all of this.
He has read all of this on stream.
Yes.
That is so good. Yeah, he did a whole stream covering the Ghost versus Ralph shit. I remember because he was sitting there while Ghost was yelling, going like, "I can't turn his volume down anymore, and it keeps redlining my audio."
Me? Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're the Asian accounts that the Hodge twins gave the N-word pass to. That's been pretty good.
I mean, you can buy an N-word pass just from the Hodge twins website.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd also buy it from a Scottish website.
I counterfeited my own. I have my own counterfeit N-word pass.
Which I feel like is more legitimate.
I mean, I would
Can you
assume that
imagine
anytime someone
about to
claims
get your
to have
ass
a
beat, you
N-word
reach into your
pass,
wallet and
there
you
is a
produce
small piece of lettering on the pass that says, "For entertainment purposes only, not responsible if used in actual black people."
Mine it specifically does not have that. It is legally binding.
I mean, you could tell that to the people involved, but I am always reminded of that scene in the Boondocks about N-word moments, where the man of color is very serious, and the other guy realizes, "Wait a minute,
Wait, I'm white.
I'm white," and just walks away. And the other guy is like, "Come on, this is a perfect opportunity to throw your life away."
So, Rune, I actually prepared for this show. Do you want to see a recipe for spaghetti bolognese pizza, or for a garlic shrimp?
I mean, I wanted to say no, but apparently Larry says I absolutely want to, so I cannot refuse.
So spaghetti bolognese pizza.
But I do want to say, Larry,
Mm-hmm.
when horrible things happen to your character,
they already have, Joe.
No, I mean when new horrible things happen, more black and awful than you could imagine.
Hold up,
you know
Joe.
Why.
Hold up, Joe. I've already planned for those bad things to happen with you. You can't hold that threat over me.
It's- for people not in the know, Larry and I do nerd shit over the course of the week, and I have been cursed out by multiple players multiple times in this last week alone for giving them real world existential dread.
Rune,
The fun thing
you
is,
blew me up.
the fun thing is, I've been calling him out for like 2 weeks for the existential dread he's given my character. Most of it is stuff that Joe didn't even do intentionally.
And quite frankly, getting blown up is the kiddie pool end of that particular stream. You're lucky, Ayrton.
I'd just like to point out that everything Joe does in a game, he does intentionally.
That's
Don't let him
true.
fool
I
you.
mean, yes, by definition.
All right, Joe, you ready for this?
Yes, I am ready to be subjected to your chicanery. No, use a fucking lid, you mong.
And it's spaghetti bolognese pizza.
Don't throw your fucking spaghetti at the goddamn stuff. Why didn't you just cut it up when it was fucking dry?
Did they really not put any bread on that?
It's still fucking pink.
You could. That's medium rare.
No, that is ground beef, sir. That is processed cow
You've
lips.
never had a
and
medium
hoof
rare
bones.
burger?
Look. You can have a range of
I mean,
completeness.
to me, yes, that was a little underdone, but you can absolutely have medium rare, like hamburger steak.
I get my burgers done medium.
Depending on where you get it, but I'm just putting forth the argument that there's
That
a range
someone
of
cooking
ways
that
for steak.
probably can't. Probably
I'm just saying,
can't
there's a
medium
range
rare
of ways
something.
for steak. Some restaurants can do it. If you're cooking at home, err on the side of carbon. The fuck is wrong with you?
All right, so I want to
Imagine
end the
you
I
make
want to end
beef
the show.
tartare
Hold
pizza.
on. I
What
have
that is.
I have one more video, Larry. Hold
Okay,
on.
okay.
It's the garlic shrimp video.
It is.
Roasted garlic and shrimp. I wonder what he's gonna make.
Wait,
He's gonna do this in the
wait.
bathroom with
What?
the battery.
What?
Phenomenal.
Wait a minute. They let him on the fucking plane with that shit?
Yeah, that's not on the restricted items list, Rune. Come on.
A battery that you can
Yeah.
make a bomb with is not on the restricted items list?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, he's putting it in a sick bag because that's where it's going to start out and that's where it's going to end up.
And I just want to point out, if I can get this pause right, the sick bag says feel better.
That's why I knew it was a sick bag. That is correct, Brian James. Prison food is indeed processed in sinks like this, but
Man,
I would trust that more than this.
Yeah, don't fuck around with seafood, man.
I would.
No, I think this is the perfect recipe. This is how I'm going to make it for the rest
I
of my
believe
life.
it, Commander. I believe you pissed in that sink.
I would trust a $14 hooker with a Groupon over the food this guy made.
Who do you think I'm making the shrimp for? You got to be fancy.
It probably tastes the same, to be honest with you.
Do you swipe that Groupon between the cheeks?
Well, yeah. Where else do you gonna swipe it? Come on.
Put
So,
it in the like a tip.
So I want to end the show talking about the rumored sale of Dungeons and Dragons, which
Fucking 30
didn't happen.
minutes left. Larry's like, we got to abort. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Well, to be fair, what it was
Larry, that counts as a late term abortion, and I don't think those are legal in Florida, which is where we're
well-
technically streaming from.
Right. But Dungeons and Dragons is in Washington State, where it's totally legal.
Oh, okay.
well, no. Let's be clear. It was leaked and or announced. Okay, more accurately leaked.
It was test
And then-
bubbled.
Right, and then when people went, "What the fuck?"
If D&D
Watsy
goes,
very
is,
quickly gave
is
a
Magic the Gathering
non
going with it?
denial that they clearly had prepared in advance.
What I had discussed with Rune is it was, I believe we talked about this, is they were much more likely buying the video game rights to D&D for like a long-term block, which would be something reasonable D&D would negotiate for 10 cents. But I wanted to talk about how terribly D&D is running their business. So there's a little game company that you two might not have heard of because their games are prohibitively and abusively hard to run and play in, but Joe and I know well, called Palladium. They don't make hardbound books as a rule, but they do sometimes, and they do books for $30 a pop. Joe, what's the average for a D&D book?
Oh Jesus! And mind you, this is probably 5 years out of date, so adjust for the market.
D&D 5th edition book set is $93 on Amazon.
That's the set. What about for the individual tome?
What tome? Monster Manual.
Yeah, take your pick.
Okay, Monster Manual is about $30.
Yeah, so okay, so the math's about the same. So it's about $30 for core, somewhere
The
between
DM
15 and
the
20,
core rulebook
25
5th
for an
edition guide
accessory.
is $40.
I'm sorry, what?
The DM guide and core rulebook combined, the Game Master's guide
Right,
is $40.
right. But on average, it's $30 to $40 for core rules, and then between 20 and 25 or 15
Your
to
standard
25
retail is $50 a book.
for an accessory.
Your standard retail is $50 a book.
Yeah.
So, if we were to run D&D, we lower the production cost of most of the books. And further, we would adapt another production technique from Palladium Books.
We would also have a guidebook specifically to help players deal with sticking your hand in the interdimensional vagina.
No, we would not.
You should just know better.
What we would do is what
Yeah, but
Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know better, so we need a book.
Yeah. So what we would do is we'd have what
No. I just want those out there because this is now product. Ayrton, get on making it for the shirt sales. What you need is you need a shirt with a cartoon hand reaching into a glowing portal and just the words "wood."
No.
No, it should say "don't," not "would." It should.
But you would. We
I
know you would. You did.
I would, but like you shouldn't. So it should say "don't." It should be like one of those warning signs where it's like the silhouette of the hand reaching towards it with the
right.
like circle and line through it, and it just says "don't." That would work.
Still, our bullshit aside, Larry, you were actually going somewhere before we got off on a
Yes. Next, we would do splat books. You'd have the Fighter's Handbook. You'd have the Wizard's Handbook, the Sorcerer's Handbook, the Elf Handbook. And there'd be gradually more and more handbooks. Those we would sell at like an even lower price point, if possible. Now, there would be like crowdfunding campaigns where you could buy like a high-end art book. One that would be just for selling to whales.
I mean, as a consumer, I feel it does not get set up, so I think it's an opportunity to say, fuck whales. Fuck them in their fat wallets.
But
Give
again,
me your money, you lazy cunts. You don't
Eh,
deserve it.
I'd rather not fuck a whale.
excuse
you.
me.
I mean, they're not fun to fuck, Ayrton. It's not even fun to slap them and ride the wave.
But after we do this for the book product, we'd be selling books cheaper, and we'd be making more books to justify some of the employees we have. But the real focus is the business would focus on the online adaptions and media adaptions. Joe, I want you to imagine, if you will, a Curse of Strahd movie coming out in October in theaters. Would that movie do a little business or a lot of business?
Would it be an actual horror movie?
It would be an actual horror movie.
I mean, I think that might do a fair amount of business.
Yeah. While you don't like it, how about a Heroes of the Lance movie?
I mean, I think if you went and got Peter Jackson and you said, here's a series of books, please movie this for us. Here's your money, and we'll let you do practical effects. You could have another Lord of the Rings level trilogy set in the War of the Lance, and it would be fucking amazing.
I mean, again, while we don't like it, let's say they made a streaming series about Drizzt.
I mean, it's going to make a lot of teenage girls' panties wet. So yeah, go with that. That's called money in the bank. Why do you hate money, Larry?
So there's a famous story when Marvel was going bankrupt. Avi Arad spoke to all the bankers and said, "Listen, Spider-Man's $1 billion. That's just Spider-Man. Give us some time. We'll work something out, and we'll make a shit ton of money, and you'll get paid." D&D has billion-dollar movie and television ideas. And what did they choose to do? They made that weird Chris Pine movie.
That then people try to lie to themselves and say was okay.
So if you want to fix D&D, you don't need to sell it. You need to clean up the actual brand management of the company. They need to actually make good leadership decisions.
Well, I think that there is a key element that has not been stated that needs to be restated. It's a bit of lost lore from the before time of the ancients of capitalism, because people have misconstrued spending money with wasting money. See, when Amazon makes a Lord of the Rings and it costs $1 billion and it's made from Tolkien's bar leavings, that's wasting money, right?
That's wasting $1 billion.
On the other hand, when you go to a film like this D&D movie with Chris Pine was, and you say, we're going to spend money to make money because this is going to make that money back, right? Maybe, just maybe, you do your Dragonborn and your bird people with a little bit of CGI so they look and act like bird people and not like people in fucking suits. Fucking fixed-faced suits.
Don't forget the cat people.
Not even fucking Muppet Jim Henson effect suits, which would have looked amazing, right? Maybe you spend out for that because you realize that for your fantasy film to succeed, it needs to look good. The problem with the Chris Pine D&D movie, beyond many other problems,
that's not. Rune, I gotta cut you off there, Rune. That's not true. I went back and watched the original Ninja Turtles movies, and those suits are fucking terrifying.
Those suits are amazing, especially when you're 7 years old. You fucking liar.
Yes, they're good when you're young and you don't know any better and you're not paying attention to that shit. That shit does not hold up today. They could not make
lies
that movie today.
Bullshit. Bullshit and lies.
And just a PSA for everybody listening. Those suits are very sticky on skin, especially when you get sweaty, and lube does not help.
Something you want to admit to, Ayrton?
What?
He doesn't want to admit to it, but I do have the photographs.
But no, my point is, okay, is if you're not going to make it look good, okay, and it's not part of the joke, then don't fucking do it.
No,
See,
well, I think you missed what I was saying though. Is I'm not saying that those suits are awful and the movie
No,
wouldn't
and
be good. I'm saying those suits were great for the time,
right, but
they were still kind of terrible. So
no,
I mean,
here's
you could have that
here's what I'm getting at though. One of the things
and
that
it still
aided,
be okay. We've had bombs that
yeah,
you
but
know. Were-
what I'm getting
Go
at,
ahead.
what I'm getting
Go
at, Church, is one of the reasons Conan did so well is because Hyboria, the setting, largely is made of humans. Not a lot of FX problems you have to make. There was no giant dragon, although there was a snake monster, but it means a snake. Come on, you can handle that.
Yeah.
A snake monster. That was my
After-
nickname in high school.
But after Conan, there were a bunch of Conan imitators of varying levels of shittiness. Okay? And they were fun, but they were shit because we knew that they were knockoffs. Okay? When Lord of the Rings dropped, there were a bunch of Lord of the Rings knockoffs of varying levels of shit, but we knew they were shit because they were knockoffs. But with CGI, we've reached a point where even the knockoffs can look halfway decent. If anyone
Yeah.
wants to go watch a bad movie with good FX, go check out Aragorn. Okay.
Not only that, they did that. Fucking what was his name? Bloodshot.
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 Yeah.
They did that Bloodshot movie. Well, it was a Ninjas movie, but Jason David Frank was playing Bloodshot in it, and it was low budget, but it looked good.
But here's what
As
I'm getting at.
opposed to the Vin Diesel Bloodshot movie.
It looked better than that.
But what I'm getting at, okay?
As opposed to the first time I smoked weed.
Shut the fuck up. What I'm getting at is, okay, in between all of these, there was a little comedy, little stoner comedy called Your Highness, which had a couple of funny guys, right? And was hilarious. And the FX were reasonably shit. But the fact they were reasonably shit was intentional. It was part of the joke. It's a suck fantasy in a suck fantasy world with suck visuals because that's the joke in our stoner comedy. And it was great. It was awesome. Right?
Mhm.
Much like we were talking about with Isom and Alpha Core and Yazira, the Chris Pine D&D movie looked cheap because it was cheap because they didn't give a shit. Right?
It was kind of fun though. At least maybe it was because we were watching it together. But
I mean, your mileage may vary.
It helped. The fact
But-
we watched it together helped.
But when you're talking about the health and good of the IP, right? And you need some wins. Yeah, no. If in this hypothetical environment where Larry is now in charge of D&D for WotC, and we're gonna make some D&D stuff, it's not just it needs to be cheaper and it needs to be more approachable, but you need to be willing to spend that small fortune of money to make it look like you give a fuck.
I either way, if Larry's in charge, I'm still gonna convince him to let me write a D&D book of how to survive D&D while being a dumbass.
I mean, sure, that's what the OGL is for.
Load your dice.
I mean, here's the thing, Ayrton. Here's the thing, because yet again, I'm gonna work my magic. We take your stupid idea, we clean it up, you make it a book called The Drunk Adventurer's Guide to Dungeons and Dragons.
No, don't make my stupid idea smart.
And
I
what
want
it
it to be
is-
stupid.
What it is it's
Yeah,
a
he
series
really
of
wants to
actual
do
practical
D&D for
rules.
dummies.
No, they did that. That book sucks.
No, but he wants to do it right.
No,
And I
mine will
want to
be
pirate that cover.
mine will be D&D for retards, not D&D for dummies.
Yeah, and I'll just parody the cover for
Yeah.
D&D for dummies.
I
But
mean,
it'll
sure.
be red instead of yellow.
But actually, it's funny you mentioned that book because Larry, what you are describing
Hmm?
is 20 years ago.
Yep.
That's D&D 3.
Hmm?
And arguably the bar you would have to avoid, the narrow thing you must circumvent, is of course the weaknesses of D&D 3's run. The feat bloat, the rule bloat, the shitty book bloat, where they just kept printing books without making actual qualitative beneficial books.
Do you assholes want me to tell you where I think this is going with the
Sure.
way that Wizards of the Coast is being
I mean, I
handled
know where
at
it's
the
going.
moment?
It's going walled garden, but do tell.
No. I think that we've seen this over countless times in other mediums and services. I think the D&D, instead of being a book or a resource, that they're going to come out with some kind of fucking subscription model where you have updates to the game and you get like PDFs or fucking access to the website.
That's what I just said.
Exists.
Church, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are.
It's going the route of Adobe.
They are first moving it entirely digital, and then they are making it a walled garden, which means that only the people that can pay their subscription will have up to the minute depictions of D&D, and they have enough mouth breathing, knuckle dragging, tiny cock fuck faces. I heard that chirp. To buy the thing and believe that they have to stay on the curve. I have to buy new product because if I don't buy new product, then they won't know that I support my IP that loves me because the corporation is my friend, because they are fucking stupid and they don't deserve a goddamn thing.
So I came up with while you were ranting.
It was Ayrton Sailing Bird, I am certain.
So while you were ranting, I came up with like a $1,000 idea.
Okay.
So we need to have Don Chin and Parody Press help us make the Church comic book. Then we need to have BC help us make the Church of Failure live action movie, which is all CGI. But we still call
all
it
my own stunts.
But we still call it the live action movie.
Yeah, and I do all my own stunts.
Yes. And we will literally make $1,000 of dollars.
The
I mean,
the hilarious part of that
exactly 10
movie,
of them.
spoiler alert, I will not appear in it. I will sleep through the auditions and they will have to substitute me out.
All of Church's roles
For Seth,
will be,
Seth Rogen.
all of Church's scenes will be done by President Donald Trump.
Oh, absolutely. I'm staying home for that. Yeah.
Can
we just get him in a horse mask?
I thought you were going to say by President Clinton.
No, I was talking about the president that's actually in BC's work.
She's not president yet, Eric. Calm down.
She ain't never gonna be president, no matter how much she wants it. She's an unlikable woman, and she was bullshit when she was the first lady.
But
I was talking about
never
I was talking
gonna
about
happen.
Bill. I was talking about Bill.
To go back to the actual matter at hand, is it really that big of a problem if it moves to a more affordable subscription model? Like
yes, and I can actually give a direct example why.
Perfect, because I have to pee. Please go on.
Last night, my friend Moody and I were trying to help a player with the mechanics of their character, and we were going through books. And I was looking at my copy of the book, which was an official copy of the book, and Moody was looking at his copy of the book, which is an official copy of the book, and we had different versions of the same book because it had been updated without me being told in between. So I had to go download the update. Right? Now that's a minor thing in the world of material. Okay? Except what this means is it creates a artificial hierarchy between player and potential GM, where only the people who pay out for the subscription actually know what's going on. It is no longer meritocratic. It's no longer about, are you a good player? Are you a good DM? It is now, are you wealthy enough to pay for the up-to-the-minute rules? Because when your players are trying to make their characters and do their thing, if they can't get access to the same sources you can, If you're a player, you will always have an advantage. If you're a DM, you will always be able to withhold that access to extort them. And extra fun, you know they'll have a free version. They already do. It's called D&D Beyond. I have had friends who are using D&D Beyond, and what I have found is that on the regular, they're being shafted, not fiscally, mechanically. The free material is not good. It's not complete. They are given a curated set of selections, which means that they're not learning how to make their characters, and they're not learning how to make their characters well. They're simply making the characters that they're allowed to make. But if you pay, you get all the tools.
Well,
If I buy a book once and it's mine forever, it better damn well have everything in it.
Well, sure, but it's okay. So I always come back to the Adobe Suite because that's the one that I have that I use. And for me, it's better because I have up to the minute access to the best, version of my software that my hardware can handle. But let's just put it into context. Like you said, the rules are
my hardware can handle a lot of software. Just ask your mother.
The rules change, and if you don't have up to the minute access, you might be, kind of out as far as understanding how certain things are going. But first off, through experience, I've learned that all of this information eventually gets out for free. This is the internet. You can't paywall anything well. Secondly, while you may not have up to the minute internet access, no one that I know has ever had a problem. I mean, I've seen people walk into games with D&D 2 books their parents had and starting a game of D&D 3rd or 4th edition, without a hitch.
Well,
And
here's the question, Church. And it is the appropriate comparison because we are talking about WotC. Do you like the kid that walks into your game and puts down a stack of printed Mox Jet, Mox Sapphire, and Mox Emeralds and says, I want to play with that?
yes, I don't think any game should be paywalled. I think you should have access to all the tools all the time for a minimal barrier to entry.
I mean, you should, but I just want to be clear. Do you like that kid?
It depends on how that kid acts, but I mean, I play with proxy cards. I don't.
Right.
I own, if not all of 90% of the cards that I have proxied.
Right.
But if I have one Savannah, I'm not going to just play the Savannah in the one deck. I'm going to proxy it, play it in every deck that has green
But see,
light.
that's the thing.
Now, Church.
My experience with that kid, right, is we were all playing Magic at my college. We were all having a lovely time. The kids who did it professionally walk in and are like, can we play? And we're like, sure. And they start pulling out their proxies. And it's like, okay, you proxies, right? They broke our whatever passed for the in-game economy based on what people actually owned. They were complete shitheads because they thought they were better than everybody. And when you said, hey, man, can you just chill a bit? They're like, well, you could proxy too, right? Which when we then apply that to this situation would be, well, you could just get the subscription too. It's not my fault you're a poor. How dare you, poor person, want to participate?
No, but I say you can
because that's
pirate
what WotC wants to do, Church, is they want to take
you
people like me and remove me from the game.
Well,
no, Bruce, you're not hearing me. Proxying is not. Hold on, Aaron. Proxying is not akin to subscribing. Proxying is akin to pirating, which is what I'm subtly saying.
No. What I'm saying is that these people, these specific people that I have experienced, okay, were the people with more money than brains, who played professionally. They went to conventions and they did that. And then they would go back to small private games, people just hanging out having fun. And they didn't proxy because they, proxying's fine. They weren't like, oh yeah, I just like playing games with people. All right. They used the fact that they had a better understanding of the game because they had more money to build the competitive decks that they played at conventions on proxy to then fuck people at the table.
Yeah, but
all right.
But I feel like this has become. Hold on. I feel like this has become more. personal
We are
than
talking
it
about
meant
an
to be.
environment where you are where that is being enshrined in mechanics.
What Rune is saying, he doesn't want. What Rune is saying,
just put
he
a
doesn't want.
reverse Uno card in your deck.
Go ahead, Larry.
Where Rune's coming from is pay to win sucks. We don't want to be playing a pay to win game.
Right, and that's why I say that the comparison to proxying shouldn't be subscribing. The comparison to proxying should be that all of this information is eventually going to be piratable. You can just print it out and put it in the binder.
Right, but that's not how people are going to approach it. They're going to approach it like pay to win is an elitism thing and makes them better if they can pay, and that's fucking ass.
What's the difference? What's the difference to the access of the
hold on.
information
Well,
if you're looking at it on a WordPad or the official website?
Well, hold on, Church. Like, Rune, one of my major hobbies is literally pay to win. But if you put in the extra, which is firearms, but if you put in the extra effort and be creative and, you know, practice and, you know, all that shit, you can still make accomplishments without the pay to win part. Like, I'm not a Magic player. I don't know how
Right
exactly it works, but
what was the question? How what works?
I said one of my major hobbies, which is firearms, which is pay to win, but you can still become fairly accomplished and
but what do you win, Ayrton? What is the win?
Well, there's competitions. There, you know, competition shoots, stuff like that.
Right, but those aren't relevant. Those actually aren't relevant because because the gun you buy doesn't make you a better shot.
Yes, it does.
No,
it literally does. Yes, it does.
It objectively does.
It objectively does.
The firearm.
No, you're buying better
firearm
quality.
You practice with. Your level of skill, your focus, your time, those matter. Okay?
Sure.
Yes,
Those
you can
matter
buy
more.
a shitty gun. That's true. There are objectively good or
it's
worse
the difference
guns.
between a Smith & Wesson and a Caltech.
Yeah.
Like you got major vibration on one, you got off-sighting.
If you're telling me that if somebody walks onto a range just to shoot a couple of rounds, and they have a gun that is cared for and is serviceable, and somebody's over there with his tactical super cannon and goes, loser, that guy is not well liked on his range.
Well, sure, but not everybody's like that.
But my point is, Rune, is somebody who spends like $8,000 to get a Terran Tactical Sand Viper 2011 versus the guy who had $500 to buy like a Glock 19. The guy with the $8,000 Sand Viper, if you put them side by side, first time shooting, the guy with the Sand Viper is going to outshoot the guy with the Glock.
Not relevant.
Every day.
Not relevant. Because if you're talking a competition, that's a competition. If you're talking about, are these two guys happy with their purchases? Are they happy with their guns? If they're happy with their guns, doesn't matter who has the better gun objectively because they are happy with them.
I feel like we've gone off the
But
rails.
wouldn't that be the same though? If you're happy with your build of a deck?
No, what we are talking about right now in tabletop gaming is meritocratic. I have my World of Darkness, Larry has D&D, you have Palladium. They're all games. Everybody is having fun. Everybody is having fun in their own way. Some people might think your game is shit or my game is shit, but it doesn't matter because they're all games. Okay? But if you implement the walled garden that WotC wants, okay, all right, that's I have my game, Larry has his game, you have your game, Church has his game, but then when we walk over to show our games to people and talk about how cool they are, there's that chud with his subscription going, it's not a real game, I have subs. And then there are fucking mouth breathers in this community, quote unquote community, that will believe that is true and that he is a better gamer than you because he has a subscription.
Well,
and WotC is
actually-
banking on it. It's what they fucking want. That's
actually,
the pay
Rune,
to win element.
that actually plays into my analogy because I hate Glocks. I think they're trash. But if somebody buys one and is satisfied with it, and they can use it semi effectively, like, and they're happy with it, then okay, that's great.
Right. But
Same thing
WotC
with the guy who spent $8,000 on the
Yeah,
on
but
the,
what
on the
WotC
Terran
is trying to
Tactical.
do, Ayrton, what WotC is trying to do, okay, whether you like Glock or not, WotC is trying to take away your right to own a Glock. That's the problem.
I mean, that's just when you move to a different system.
But
Which is what's happening.
But
People are en masse moving on. The reason it's still a problem, though, is that if WotC gets away with it, then other companies will follow suit, which will hurt the industry as a whole.
But you still have the decks and the books and stuff that you've already purchased, and you can still play with them with other people that also want to.
Yes, but they are trying to win the. I'm going to use the term. Here we go. They're trying to win a culture war by saying the people who play the old games are dangerous recidivists who will make you unsafe.
Yes.
Who fucking cares?
I don't know.
thing
I
is,
have a problem
most-
with being called the person that's going to fuck with your kids.
the issue is, church. Most people don't want to be in a situation where they have to engage with a conflict, and so they'll just go with what the company wants to have less hassle.
I mean, that's a problem. But the thing is there's no reason to get upset about it. Just stop supporting it, because if you've already decided that there's nothing you can do about it, being pissed off about it just gives it attention.
Well, no. See that's where the question of this 10-cent sale actually matters. Right
Well, it
now,
depends on what exactly the sale is for.
Dude,
Like, you guys
that's what I'm
were
trying to tell
pretty
you.
sure that it was like
that's
the
what I'm
video
trying to
game
tell you
side
right
of it.
now. At this exact moment, WotC has what's called an open gaming license. Okay? They tried to undo it, and the blowback was so hard that they undid what they did. Then they tried to put in a slightly less egregious OGL, and were gloriously ignored. Okay? And they have not actually bounced back from that. If they sell to Tencent, a Chinese company, then the independent gaming suite and anyone that has built their brand on D&D gets fucked because they can't fight China.
Don't trust China. China
Which-
is a asshole.
Which why you say, well, they shouldn't have built their brand on D&D, and I would agree with you, right? Destroys an entire industry.
Well, I mean, you
Literally
can tell
watching
how.
money evaporate.
Well, I mean, it makes sense now that WotC is cashing out on Magic the Gathering by trying to squeeze as much profit out of every crossover they possibly can before it all implodes.
Yeah, but it's imploding because of their fuckery. That's the thing.
Well, it
They
always is.
fucked their own business model, and now they're trying not even to unfuck it, but to pass it off on someone else.
Well, lads, we're not gonna answer these questions tonight because we've hit our
Thoughts?
time limit, but we'll revisit these discussions later. So
Also,
Or we
for
could
anyone
do like
watching, I have
corporate
no
and table
problem
it and
with the
never
pew-pews.
mention it again.
look, we have to have a meeting to determine if we're going to do that, church.
I will not be there. I vote we don't though.
Well, I mean,
Anyway.
you're going to be busy doing your voice recordings with BC for the upcoming Church of Failure movie.
Yes.
Oh, it's all going to be CGI and AI. Like, we
Yeah.
won't have to do a thing.
Well, I have to program the AI basically by swearing into it for an hour a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, good night,
We're already
everybody.
doing that.
Good night, everybody. Larry, how dare you?